But I guess it's also a sign of modern chess or chess in general that often you don't manage to checkmate, but you discoordinate or scare your opponent enough that you just pick up 2 pawns and win the game, technically, in the end, right?
Yes. So we coming back to the game.
Yes.
We see the move Queen G5, and we see the huge pressure which Carlsen created on the king side. Black felt that he has to play h6, and now actually some remarkable move is coming. Maybe another moment to take time and to try to guess.
Okay. I'm still trying to remember the attacking pattern with h4, h5, pawn to e5, and then exchanging the dark squared bishops. But now there is a concrete solution for our viewers to figure out, right?
Yes.
What is it? I can't wait. I'm assuming as usual you took your time.
Typical Carlsen move. Yeah? We will see it in some other lectures. He played here Queen c1. All of a sudden, the queen goes away from the king side and comes to c line. So it is very concrete solution. It is also typical Carlsen. He sees the whole board. He is not only concentrated at one part of the board, as many people would be, like only looking at the king side, but he sees the whole board, whole range of the possibilities, and that's strength. Incredible strength of Magnus. So what to do now? Pawn g6 is hanging, and if, for example, queen d7, white simply takes on g6, and black position is ruins.
So this move queen c1, in general, it's kind of a double attack, right? It's very hard for me to have thought of that move, because I think long queen retreats in general are very hard, and I would like to keep the queen close to the king side to checkmate him.
Yeah, something like queen g4 would be like no natural move. Yes, but here a very concrete solution.
So now he's attacking the g6 pawn. That part is clear. But if black covers that, goes g5,
black played g5 in the game, and now simply the pin on the c line, and that's tactical factor. All of a sudden decides the game. Bishop d7.
And here. Is this another exercise?
d5. Well, it could be like an exercise, but too late.
We spoiled it.
d5.
Now, he doesn't win in kingside attack, but it looks like he's winning a piece all of a sudden, right?
Yes, he wins a piece, and the game basically is over, and Magnus Carlsen converts his advantage in a very instructive manner. Yeah, piece on c6 would be lost. Black managed to take one pawn on f6, but yes, he has 2 pawns, but it's not enough compensation.
Very confident Magnus will win that position against anybody, anytime.
Yes, after some desperate moves, this was nice separation.
Some technique forcing the pawns on the dark squares, but it's very simple for his level.
Yes, okay, here Ivanchuk resigned. Very nice example. We will have the similar example on the next position, and I think we just switch to it and to see. That's again maybe a small task. Think about 5 minutes. How would you play here? There is of course a big similarity to the previous game.
So in this position, I'm guessing we're kind of repeating the attacking pattern we learned in the last game. Of course, it's a different position. I don't see any h-pawns on h5.
Not yet, maybe not yet.
Okay.
But white played e5. Very nice move. Not only winning the square e4 for the knight, but also driving the black knight away.
But here black hasn't even played e6. In the other example with e6, the dark squares were a bit more weakened. So
Yes.
And here this plan is effective. Yeah?
It is also very effective, but also we have here another excellent square c5.
Some details. So the position, as usual, the knight has a good base on d5, c5.
We see. I'm sorry, I forgot to say that this was a game Carlsen-Malakhov, and Malakhov is a strong player. He tries to protect the position and protects the square c5. And now very nice move, which is ideologically connected with the moves e5, knight e4. He goes queen d2.
Planning to exchange the bishops with bishop h6 again, if he gets a chance.
Queen b8, bishop h6.
I predicted him.
Yes. Now black played bishop h8. That's understandable that black wants to keep some protection on the dark squares.
Yeah, it's similar to the last example where I also suggested this bishop f8 not to exchange them, but failed miserably. And here you're also saying there were more important things.
Perhaps the move f5 was more stubborn, but of course white's position after knight c5 is very good, and it is a very clear, very big advantage. And so I don't know. It's easy to criticize Malakhov for the move, but now Carlsen brings another resource to attack, and that's the similarity to the first game. He plays h4.
That guy again.
Knight f8. Okay, c5 square is empty. Why not to conquer it with the knight? Yeah.
Also, probably you don't want to allow knight e6, right?
True. Good defensive position.
Well, here if black played knight e6, it's probably a bit off topic, but I always enjoy that structure. If black went knight e6 and white took on e6 and pawn takes, then the bishop on h8 would have some serious problems getting back into the game.
And king position would be weakened as well.
Horrible on all fronts.
Black played queen a7. Basically, we can say strategically, it's very bad position already. Maybe already lost position. And Carlsen simply attacks on the king side h5, knight c7. Maybe to prepare knight e6 somehow. I took on back. Now another small problem. So maybe take some time here to find the best attacking continuation. It's not the only solution, in this position. The white's advantage is already so huge that probably even after knight g5 and then queen f4, white would be on the winning way.
Stopping knight e6 again.
Yes, it's a great position, but the solution of Magnus Carlsen, I'm sorry, I put it like this now. The solution of Magnus Carlsen is even more elegant. He simply takes the knight. Opens the way for the queen to h6, and knight on f8 was the only piece who could, in the moment at least, protect h7 square. And here he comes with his queen, and the knight will come to g5, and how black would defend against queen h7 is
still, it's
unclear.
Not an easy move to even think of now that you showed. It's easy, but to give up that nice bishop on h6 for a knight on f8 shows he doesn't have any prejudice. He's just playing.
He is very original play. He doesn't have fears to make something unusual. Yeah? So he has a lot of self-confidence. And the game shows it, of course. Knight g5 instead of would be a Schablon standard move. Bishop f8 is something original.
Right.
But we see it is very effective. Knight g5 is a threat. And f6 was weakening the position. And at the moment when black starts pushing the pawns, we see what happens. There some other squares, some other pawns would be weak.
And again, we see the effect of this h4, h5 maneuver, that it does really weaken black's position, right? Because both sides of white had a pawn on h2 and black on h7. Maybe nothing would have happened here, yeah? But like this.
Exactly. Now g6 is a weakness. Yeah, now g6 is a weakness, and black cannot protect it reasonably. Knight h4 is coming, attacking g6.
Yeah, this looks ugly.
It's not ugly. It's probably already end. It's over. We see how white pieces are just coming close to the black king.
This position, I'm pretty sure I could have won. I'm not sure I would have reached it against Malachov, but it is very pretty. Reminds me, again, off topic, maybe I can show it at some point, of a game, Karpov against Unziker, also a famous game where he also completely invaded him like this with queen to g6 and knight to f5. Ugh, yeah, this looks bad.
That is bad, and in this moment Malachov resigned. We can give maybe some line for a small explanation. Let's say pawn takes c5, queen e6, for example, already hitting the rook. Maybe the best first to take on the side. Sorry.
Okay, so I'm starting to get the concept e5, h4, h5. As always, it's not universally applicable, right? But the way Carlsen uses this concept, yeah, it's impressive.
It's very, very nice, yes. I'm very sorry. We have one more example.
So if you guys feel like learning one more thing about kingside attack, stay tuned. Here comes one more example. Let's go.
It's actually a great game.
I know this game, Carlsen Arnold. It's been played in 2012 or 13 maybe?
I think
Not sure, but
2012,
recently.
yes,
Yeah,
in
yeah,
Bilbao. And first, white to move.
I was hoping I could go e5 followed by h4, h5, but this one, it seems like probably the e-pawn is already gone. It sacrificed itself earlier, so we need a different solution.
White
It's an
played.
exercise again, right?
Yes.
So think about it. I'll give a small hint. Knight d3 is not the solution. Okay, here we go.
First move is relatively simple. White played g4. We can understand it if you looked what black wanted to do. Black wanted definitely to play knight e5 and maybe even come to e3. That would be like a dream for black knight. By playing g4, white simply stopped the black knight from doing any active part in this game.
So we call this prophylaxis, right? Or
Prophylactic.
restricting the
movements of the opponent pieces.
Which is also, I guess, a part of improving your own pieces. You also have to take care that your opponent can't do the same thing.
This is a second part of the medal, yes, the second side of the medal, yeah. Black played rook c6, protecting e6, a very natural move.
Because he wants to go knight e8 and bring this knight to a better square somehow, so he has to cover the pawn first.
But now a remarkable move is coming. A remarkable move.
Is this another exercise, or we
Could be.
assume you already saw everything when you played g4? No, but I think it's another good position to think about. So if you guys are still alive, think again.
And I show the solution now.
Yeah.
White played an incredible move, knight h3. Again, we spoke about the confidence which Carlsen has. Yeah, it is move of a confident chess player. He sees some positive ideas, and he is not temporary knight on h3 is on a bad position, but he is not afraid of putting knight temporarily on a bad position. He sees the profit after queen h6, knight comes to g5, and black would be almost dead. Yeah. So that is absolutely excellent move, and it gets also a lot of appreciations from top players in the world. It's an excellent maneuver. Black played knight e8. I looked here at some other lines. For example, queen d8, queen h6, king h8. How else to defend against knight g5? Knight g5 is coming, queen g8. Black could hardly breathe.
Looks a bit.
It is horrible, and also in some annotations there was a nice maneuvering suggested rook e4, maybe with idea rook f4, and if black tries to regroup the knight, and we can hit the pawn on e6, and if black tries to play rook f8, white can maybe improve the attacking chances by playing rook g1, and then rook g3, rook h3.
Yeah, this looks
Fantastic position from white's perspective, not very nice from perspective of world champion. So black, after knight h3, black is probably lost. He played knight to e8.
Now we see the execution of the attack.
Yes, queen h6, knight f6, knight g5, very strong continuation. d3 was played. It is clear that Anand looked for some counterplay. That would be a reaction of many players, d3. Now maybe the last precise move in the game. Excellent move, it's not easy to spot, but if you play it, you would win the game. Yeah? And after some thought, maybe you will be able also to spot this move. Anand played rook e5. I'm sorry. Carlsen played rook e5.
Anand wished he could have played rook e5.
Yes, he wished it would be on the other side of the table. The threat is knight takes h7. And this is an absolutely horrible situation for Anand. If, for example, knight d6, knight h7, we can look at the line, king f8. I checked it till the checkmate, just for our pleasure. Yeah. Okay, this is slightly more maybe precise that way. I put it till the checkmate. Of course, it's not necessary to calculate so far. It is clear for a grandmaster that attack is winning.
Looks like there will be a win, yeah.
So after rook e5, the game is finished. Black doesn't have any sensible moves. He played king h8. It's actually just defense against the move knight takes h7, but cannot save the game because it loses the control over f7, and white simply played rook d1. Horrible situation for black. Queen a6 was played, and just very simple move, a4. Black can't do anything. If he tries to protect the d pawn, then knight f7 wins exchange. Losing d3 pawn leaves black in absolutely hopeless situation, and Anand simply resigned.
Just can't move anything, poor Vishy.
Yes. So I hope that in some other lectures we will see some other aspects of games of Carlsen. We see here how good he is in attack, but also how fantastic he regroups his pieces.
Yeah, and he doesn't really... Well, I'm sure he will checkmate eventually, but it's clear he's not going all out for the attack, but he, at the same time here, he managed to control the whole board here with his rook on e5, his rook on d1, he plays a4, just not to allow anything. So yeah, he's good. I mean,
yes. We spoke about Carlsen, and he resembles, in a way, he resembles Anatoly Karpov, another great player. In this game, for example, he restricted the opponent to such an extent that he cannot even breathe. Yeah, that's a very typical play of Anatoly Karpov.
Last question for this lesson. Would you say that he's even more complete, or to me it seems like he's more aggressive than Karpov? For example, this example, I can't recall that many Karpov games, mainly wrongly, where he went for such a direct attack. This knight h3, queen h6. I'm not sure we would have seen it from Karpov. No insult meant, but he seems even more flexible, right?
In a way, yes, he is more aggressive. I think he maybe resembles more the young Karpov. And of course, we can compare Carlsen, Pablanka, we can compare him with Botvinnik or Smyslov or Karpov. But already his level is amazing, and in a way his development of this direction, so his, we can say, reincarnation of all these great players.
Well, you're old school. For our viewers, you have to say he almost plays like Houdini, or he's better than Rybka. Then people will understand. Nobody's heard of Capablanca or Smyslov or these people. No, I'm kidding.
Fortunately, he plays slightly different, not like computer, and that makes him so fascinating.
And I think also the way he learned chess. It doesn't seem like he's as influenced by computers like a lot of other younger players, including myself, even not being that young, but we grew up with these computers and clicking buttons and sort of developed their style. But it seems like he has other influences. I can't tell it, but it's impressive to see that kid play for sure.
Yes, yes.
So thanks a lot, Artur, for the lesson.